gather round, the curtains rising high. It's real talk time, and we'll tell you why. From old-time flicks to the silver screen, we've got the stories and the in-between. But out of real talk, it's the place to be for movies.
Lights, camera, action. The
Oscars, baby.
The Oscar goes to Sander.
For best dressed on the red carpet.
Hold on. Don't play the outro music. He knows what he's doing.
I know. That was good. That was a good speech. I appreciated the... he's actually getting some flack for that, the whole situation. You see,
Really?
he took out his gum and threw it to his wife.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
And people are like shitting on him for that.
Like in terms of manners, or
Yeah, and like not even mentioning it in the speech and like a whole...
not mentioning that he threw his gum.
Yeah, like not saying, oh yeah, like I know I threw my gum to my wife. Like whatever.
Like some acknowledgement of it. I'm sure the wife doesn't care. If you see her in the video, she's so funny.
Yeah.
She's like
Fun.
she goes to catch it.
Yeah.
And then she misses it and goes.
I know. Like it's just a fun.
I'm sure she doesn't care. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter. That was the Oscars. That's yeah. So the welcome back to episode 14.
Episode 14
of the Real Talk podcast.
We've done so many, we're already forgetting.
I'm already forgetting.
This is
That's crazy.
I was going to say this is 2 weeks of episodes, but no, this is 14 weeks.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, 14 weeks of episodes. It's pretty wild. Like good consistency, which I also mentioned today to Marina. She's like, "Oh, I didn't know Nathan had a podcast." I was like, "Oh, yeah. We have a podcast that we do together."
Yeah, you want to come on it? Yeah. That's literally no. It's so funny. That's been my little push with people
sponsoring the podcast.
No, you know what? They do it. They would.
They would. It would cost them absolutely nothing.
We'd put Schwarmy right here, and we could get Kyle. We'll put him in the Schwarmy costume, and
we can't afford him in the Schwarmy costume.
No,
absolutely not. We don't have 50. You might just do it for the Happy Dad Osmo. I don't know. We can put those in the
Happy Dad Osmo collab. Oh, maybe not because US stuff.
Yeah, we can't.
But I guess the Noak Boys are Canadian. I think the Happy Dad is
brand.
No, it's not.
No.
But Osmos.
There's not going to be any Happy Dad in the LCBO anymore, I guess.
No, there won't be.
That'd be an interesting one. Let's see if that actually stays. Because the parent company is a US company, but the brand, being that it is like I don't know.
It's manufactured in the US, so probably
getting removed. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Did you see all the videos of like the stuff getting removed for the LCBO?
No.
Oh yeah, they're taking all the US stuff out of the LCBO.
Yeah, I know. I saw the post about it. I haven't seen.
I saw videos of like them doing.
Wow,
it. That's insane. So
welcome to the world, ladies and gents.
Welcome to the tariff time.
The trade war
should be interesting.
Trade war. Don't worry, everyone's welcome in the Real Talk country.
That is true.
We're gonna go start our own sovereign state in the middle on an oil rig in the middle of international waters.
We're gonna be part of we're part of the Gulf of Real Talk. The Real Talk Gulf.
That's right. Just off the coast of Alaska, you'll find us.
But back to what we came here for this.
The Oscars.
This episode.
I hope you all tuned in and watched it. And I know a couple of people I was talking to didn't tune in and watch it. So
surprised by that.
Shame on you.
Like the people not voting for Dune. Like the anonymous people that said that they couldn't get through Dune, but
a lot of people. I heard that from a lot of people.
I don't get that.
But well, you know what though? I've realized that it's a certain type of person who can't get through Dune.
Yeah, but it's like them saying, "Well, I watched The Brutalist, but I couldn't sit through Dune." Like, okay, you saved an hour of time watching Dune over The Brutalist.
Yeah. I don't know. The way that people's preferences are is a magical thing. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, and unfortunately there's nothing we can do about it. I'm glad that they actually did win some stuff. I mean, they absolutely deserve to be in the nomination for a lot more. And unfortunately, we will never get to see that. Maybe we'll get to see that in 2 years when Dune Prophecy Dune Pro? No, sorry, that's
the TV show.
Sorry. When the final
Dune 3.
Yeah.
What's Dune 3 is the Messiah or something like that?
Yeah, Dune Messiah. Yeah.
Dune
Sorry.
Messiah, yeah.
I'm getting the HBO show confused. Yeah, when Dune Messiah comes out and then we see it get nominated for hopefully 5 or 6 different categories in 2027 for the 99th Oscars, which is pretty crazy.
Wow.
It'd be crazy.
Arguably more exciting than the 100th Oscars.
And why?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, we're gonna get for the 100. I want to see a clean sweep of Batman 2, because that's 2027
with Mr. Freeze.
Could be good.
I think it is. It is Mr. Freeze, right? I think so. I saw a concept poster.
Yeah.
Get released, and it was Batman, but it was like cold.
Interesting. So that's going to be the villain for the next
Mr. Freeze.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Love a Mr. Freeze, iced out man.
That should be interesting. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see the continuation of the Penguin built into that.
Yeah, and Penguin's involved in that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And kind of how the worlds collide. I like what they've done. I think it's good.
I like the aesthetic.
This melodramatic take on like this really dark aura that this version brings. I think it should be interesting. I think that'll be like an interesting film, and again for the 100th Oscars, it could be something pretty nutty. See kind of like a clean sweep. Is there an Avatar coming out that year that it has to contend with? We'll see. I think it's this year, and then it might be
2027.
It might be 2027 as well. It's around the same time.
Yikes!
Avatar 4? Is it 4?
Yep.
So we're getting 2029. So we're good.
Oh, we're clear.
We're clear. That's 2029, and then the final one's like 2032 or something.
Holy.
Like Avatar 4 already has a full release date. Like a full cast and a full release date. It's insane.
Well, I guess because it's all getting filmed in tandem.
I know, but
so they're snipping a part here and a part here and a part here.
Still, though,
Imagine even that paycheck.
Even Avatar 5 has a full release date.
Wow.
And cast. It's the same people, it looks like. I'm sure there's some different people.
Oh, I'm sure they all signed like a huge contract. And
Avatar 5, 2031. December 19th, 2031. Like they already... And then Avatar 6 and 7 won't release until the mid-2030s. That's insane.
I can't believe
it says
the timeline is that far.
It's already built out. Like Cameron said this to like during an IGN interview. They said we're fully written through movie 5, and I've got ideas for 6 and 7. Although I'll probably be handing the baton at that point. So for 6 and 7, somebody else is likely going to be direct. That's crazy.
Wow, imagine that.
That's nuts.
He's set. That's it. He's got all the money. I mean, I guess he already had a lot of money, but it's like all you're worried about for the next 5 years is just that.
No, just as it came up in the same kind of like this is what's coming. Like people also search for. I'm getting a new Predator movie this year with Schwarzenegger in it. Looks like.
Really? Oh, I'm excited for that.
It looks like it. Yeah, it looks like Schwarzenegger's in it. Yeah, that's definitely.
That's very exciting.
Predator Badlands. Yeah.
Schwarzenegger was good in the first Predator. Was that Predator 1? Yeah, Predator.
Should be interesting.
Mm-hmm. No, that's exciting. Is it the same team that did the Indigenous Predator?
I'm not sure. Like director wise,
or called Prey or whatever it's called.
Yeah, they did Prey. Yep. Yeah, same director.
Yep.
Yep.
That's great.
Should be interesting. I guess we'll see.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah. But yeah, that won't be a nominee for the Oscars next year, so we don't really have to worry about the 98s and Predator. But it'll be interesting to see how much like what gets nominated this year as kind of look into the year, and I think it'll be another very deep theatrical release year. So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what happens. But overall, like kind of what were your thoughts? Either what you saw or like what you watched live, or you saw me live tweeting, or on behalf.
I would say, well, I watched watching Adrien Brody's acceptance speech was great.
Yep.
Lovely. Seeing Anora for Best Picture was a very happy moment for independent cinema.
Yeah. I think it could have been nice because it's kind of it's a real toss-up between like the two favorites. If you look at them, you're like, okay, either The Brutalist or Anora. It's like we get good, an independent film winning on either side, which is like
it's a good year for
exactly what you want, right?
Cinema. Yep.
A lot of advocacy for that now as well.
Yeah, I was very happy with that. Mm-hmm. Really happy to, see everybody.
Yep.
See everybody all dressed up. That was nice. I saw some red carpet highlights. Yep. Which was exciting. That's
the only thing I didn't watch. I wasn't even tuned in. We were watching Love Island. No, sorry, Love is Blind.
Oh yeah,
wrong show. Wrong show.
I think Brad Pitt did a glam cam again that I saw.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
Looks cool as hell as always.
Why is he there?
What?
Why is he there? Just cause?
No, that's Oscars. You get Wolfgang Puck catering it, and of course
that's pretty good.
Of course. Yeah, it's pretty damn
good.
That's
pretty good.
They get their little snack box. In the snack box, you get like special glacier water, and I think this year they got pretzels. And then a little pack of hot and normal mustard.
Oh, okay.
And then what was the other thing they got? And then I think they got Raisinets. That was the other thing they got.
Oh, don't give me that. No, I'm good.
I was shocked by the Raisinets.
That's a controversial pick.
I'm sure
that's a controversial pick. Just give me popcorn.
Or something. I'm sure they had popcorn too, but this was the underseat snack box.
Oh, okay.
Or something. Because it also had like a note from Conan and all that kind of stuff.
Don't really need that.
Yeah, I didn't really see I saw a snippet of
the monologue.
The
opening.
Yeah.
It was okay. They did the Cynthia and Ariana did they did Defying Gravity. Mm-hmm, just blanking on the name of the song. It was good. I mean, like I like the movie. I don't necessarily like them as people. I find it too fake. Especially when the awards and like cameras on them or something. I'm like, I can't. I just don't like the way that they act. It's like too far gone into Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Whereas I find that they're just simply not humble enough. And I get that like the kind of the pedigree that they're at, but like there's way more actors and actresses that are at that or a higher level that I find more humble in terms of like the way that they act, and just like it seems too childish. There's always like that. I find they use the phrasing like "it's giving," that phrasing a lot. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like it's giving this. I can't stand that. I absolutely can't stand that. It's like such a pet peeve of mine. Like it sounds so bad. I don't really care who you are. It just sounds terrible. I feel like there's not enough humbling in the fact that they didn't really win anything. I guess they kind of got humbled. So I'm fine with that.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. The movie was very good. I just don't. Their off-screen personas I don't appreciate.
I liked. Trying to think what else I saw. I liked when our animator friend, he came up on stage and he had his button. His button done up wrong. Mm-hmm. And I saw a bunch of clips where people were like, can you tell which one's the animator on the stage and like all this kind of stuff? And it was great. It was very endearing.
Wait, was that during when Flo won?
When Flo won,
yeah.
Yeah, he came on stage and he had one button done up because he was so like, oh my god.
They were so pumped.
Yeah,
they were so pumped when they won. They like jumped out of their seats.
That's crazy
because they won the Golden Globe and the Oscar for Best Animated. I was like, I wanted the Wild Robot to win, but
no,
too bad.
They deserve it. Trying to think what else. What else? Adrien Brody, of course.
Yep.
Lead actress was
Mikey Madison.
Mikey. Yeah. Well deserved.
Yep.
I saw them too. They had a really nice photo together that I saw with their Oscars. I was like, yeah, she's all happy and he's all regal and classy. It was a very cool photo.
Completely opposite films.
Yeah.
So funny.
Oh yeah.
Polar opposite. And you could get more separation in two films. I don't know what it is. Like that's the total opposite end. It really is. Like it's the total opposite end of the spectrum in terms of like those two films. There's no more different than you could get.
So yeah.
Besides that, in like if you did Anora versus like The Revenant. Basically. It's like that's the level of like difference it's at.
But instead of The Revenant, we have The Brutalist.
The Brutalist. Again, equally as like an incredible performance. Like it just that level, right?
Yeah, it was great. I was I'm trying to think. Best adapted screenplay, Conclave.
Yep.
I was very happy to see that.
I was glad that they won something.
Yeah, I was glad.
Funny that the relevance is like so perfect as of literally what's happening right now in like in the Vatican, like literally what they'll be going through if this Pope passes away. This is exactly it. There was a ton of like structure and research and documentation that they got, and apparently it's like pretty close to what actually happens.
So like that, what the process would be.
Yeah, like what the actual process is.
Oh, that's
like
very interesting.
They can't officially confirm.
Of course.
But there was a lot of like, I saw so many different reports talking about how it was like as good as it could get without like literally the Pope signing off on it essentially.
Damn. Yeah, no, my mom watched it and she said...
Conclave or the Oscars?
Conclave.
Oh, okay.
She watched Conclave because of the Oscars.
Yeah.
And she said she was, she was blown away.
Yeah.
Like she was so impressed to the point where she's like, I need to watch it again because I realized, she was like, I realized I missed a lot of little pieces all throughout.
Wow.
That all kind of accumulated at the end. And she was really impressed. So I was like, okay, something's going on. Someone cooked here.
Yeah. I saw a interview of Letterboxd doing with Denis. On the red carpet. Did you see those clips? And it was Letterboxd telling Denis that his film was the most rewatch. You know how it's like the rewatch, like, but it's got to be 5 times or more, like to be like considered the rewatch. I don't know what the metric is that they have on the app. But it's like the rewatch factor, and it had the highest rewatch factor of the past year. That he's like so humble in the way that he's like, oh, that's exactly what I hope for the film. And we spent so much time putting so many layers into the film. So like when you go back and watch it every single time, you find something different. And I'm like, shit, I guess I gotta go back and watch it again. Because it's like you hear him saying it, and you're like, most directors, I feel like there's only 3 directors that will tell you to do that. And it's Tarantino, it's Christopher Nolan, and then it's now him saying, like, go back and watch it. There's so much that you missed, probably.
Because they put so much effort and time.
The editing is so layered in so many different facets that's like, you can't just watch it. There's so much detail to the film. And I think especially if you watch them in succession properly, and you'll pick up on notes from the first film that elevate like little pieces that you missed in the second. And it's a beautiful like loop of those 2 films. So it was cool to like watch him be so like humbled by
cool as
just saying that he got the most rewatches on Letterboxd this year. He's like, oh, I love it. it's like perfect. That's exactly what you want your director to be.
Yeah.
So.
And then I know a lot of people were bummed out that Timothée didn't win Best Actor.
I feel like I really only have like a couple not controversial, but I kind of up in the air in terms of like the decisions, like the final decisions. That's one of the only ones that I was like, honestly, the more that because I watched the movie again, and then I kind of compared it to like how we felt after coming out of The Brutalist, and I was like, I don't know. I honestly, it was a toss-up for so long, but I think he deserved it. I think it's like the amount of time and effort and like so much of his life that he put into that film, especially with the little bit of controversy with like the AI touch that they used for Adrien Brody, I think like should have disqualified him just enough from that voting that like Timothée should have won that award. And I think people didn't, the people that were voting for it, because it's like what, almost 400 people that vote basically within like the Academy. It's like past winners, nominees, like I don't know exactly like the full makeup of all those people, but I bet some of those people just simply didn't give it a chance because of who the biopic was for. And like they just weren't interested because so much came out at the exact same time. And like they just didn't want to sit through it. Another one that they won't admit, but they probably didn't sit through it the same way because it's not the same like art piece that The Brutalist is. And it's incredibly unfortunate, but I think that's just like the nature again as to why Dune wasn't nominated for more things. And it's disappointing to see. It's like you need to give the right person their flowers. And I'm not saying that like Adrien Brody didn't completely deserve it, but I think that like Timothée was more deserving of that award for that night based on, again, the work that he put into like that being his character. I will. I'll say that. Like I'll say that with fucking Chess. Like I think that he got robbed, and it was like you saw the photos of him kind of like reminiscing on the night afterwards. It's like the entire place is cleared out, and he's just sitting there, and like he gave that great speech at the SAGs, and I don't know. Obviously, like the voting and stuff was already done when the SAGs had taken place. And it's like you can't change your vote, but again, I just think that he got robbed, but not for the reason that he didn't deserve it. They just didn't give it to him because people didn't give it a chance. They didn't give the movie enough of a chance. And I think that's the biggest kind of takeaway from the night is like, he should have won it. He should have had it. I don't know if you kind of feel along the same lines, but I feel pretty strongly about that one.
Well, to be fair,
yeah,
I haven't seen Timothée's.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen him, but I have seen lots of clips.
Yeah,
I have seen lots of clips, and I have seen the way that he feels about it.
Yeah,
and definitely an incredible performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to watch it.
You got to watch it through, like it is
to give my full opinion.
Yeah,
but Adrien Brody does have a very specific way that he performs.
Yeah,
and because of that, I know he has a very impactful performance when it comes to and that's almost like a cheat code. Yeah. And especially when you're giving him like a really dramatic character that so much happens to, like I feel like it was a very well placed.
Yeah, it was almost like a layup in terms of it just being like an architectural version of The Pianist.
Pretty much.
Essentially. Yeah. Like obviously like Brady's writing it in a different way, he's directing it differently, but is it to its core the same character? Yeah, it's not far off. Like you can't say that it's like so far removed from being the same character. I think that's like
no.
As bold as that might be to say, it's not a completely different person.
Yeah, I'd have to give it a watch, but I don't know. I'm curious to see what I'd think, what I would think about it. Am I mad about the choice? No, I'm not mad about the choice. I think Adrien is a very talented performer and actor, and he did definitely deserve it. But yeah, I don't know. I'll watch it and then I'll have my little hot take. Yeah. In that same vein, how did you feel about The Brutalist winning Best Cinematography?
Again, I feel like that if you were going, I feel like that's pretty bang on. I feel like that I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. They shot it in VistaVision, so
that was also kind of a hack. I almost think that they like in the same way could have probably won Best Editing too, just because the editing is so much more complex because of the way that they shot it. It's not quite getting enough credit, but also Sean Baker single-handedly doing so many different pieces to like the Anora puzzle is equally as impressive, because it's like he had his hand in so many different things. His acceptance speech for that was so funny. He's like, don't worry, I saved it in the edit. They should fire that director. I was like, that's funny. Originally, when I didn't know that he had also edited it as well. I was like, okay, well that's fun. And for the things that he did win, but
and he won Best Director, right?
yeah, Best Director,
Best Edit,
Best Editor, Best Original Screenplay,
and Best Picture.
and Best Picture. And then Mikey Madison winning
Best Leading
Actress. So it's like Anora cleaned up on the big, because sometimes you'll win on like Best Original Song, and then you'll win on like, you could win Best Adapted Screenplay and then win Best Picture, and you win like 3 or 4 different things. But to win like maybe like 3 of 4 of the biggest categories is pretty insane. Right?
I mean, Anora took the world by storm.
Yeah, I know. But I wasn't expecting as we look at it as a whole, because I got the press email afterwards, Elevation Picture cleaned house with all of the stuff that they won, because they handled all of those films. They handled The Brutalist, they handled Anora, they handled Conclave, they handled Sing Sing, they handled, what am I forgetting as well? I think they handled I'm Still Here. But yeah, like they handled so many of those films. I'm like, they cleaned up.
Good for them.
Everything.
Oh yeah.
So like, if we look at everything else, I know. Yeah, it was very impressive, because it's like, okay, who was the biggest winner here? It was Elevation Pictures. Like of everything that happened, Elevation Pictures had the most, like, they just cleaned house with all of the stuff that they had their hands on. Yeah. So I'm like, goes to show, like,
you guys pick good films.
They're picking good films. It's like, stick with those people. That's why we're on the press list. We thank you. We thank everybody at Elevation. We love you.
I guess we do.
But yeah, I don't. Nothing else I'm really like upset about. Nope. I think that there could have maybe been like a few different picks. I'm glad that, even though Emilia Pérez was nominated for so many things, that it only won a few things. And I'm glad. I'm so glad.
Wicked won Best Costumes.
Yes, which...
and then The Substance won Best Hair Makeup.
Yeah, so Wicked was also like a really cool one for the Best Costume thing, because he was the first black man to win an Oscar for costume design.
Nice, amazing.
Which is very important. We got a big standing ovation for that, which is incredibly impressive. And Paul had been nominated a few times, but this was his first win, which is incredible. Like, it's so good for him in terms of just, like, he could easily win next year for Wicked 2. In theory, I guess he could.
Sure he could, yeah.
They're not necessarily like original costumes, but because you've already used them for one film, so it's like, do you get nominated in the same? You probably should. I also thought that could have been a toss-up, because I felt like Nosferatu could have won. Because that's hard. Like, you do all of that.
Did Nosferatu win anything?
No. Again, it could have been cinematography. Could have had a chance there.
Actually, I had a good conversation with a director yesterday, and we were talking about the Brutalist cinematography versus Nosferatu cinematography. And it was interesting, because he was torn, because if he was, as a director, he resonates more with the Brutalist. Yeah. But he just was stunned by Nosferatu. And so he was arguing, he's like, really, I thought Nosferatu.
Which it did win at the Critics' Choice Awards.
Yeah.
It won for cinematography, which I felt like, of all of the award shows, I feel like it gave every single category to like somebody different. I think there was only one repeat in that entire show.
That's crazy.
Which also goes to show the diversity of like, there were so many good films this year.
There's a lot of damn good
It's
films.
so hard to pick. So Anora winning 5 Oscars, it's insane. Like, that's ridiculous.
Hats off to.
So, and I think part of it was because of like a different piece of like inclusivity that they were trying to like go for, and it was both the respect for indie film that I think a lot of those people would have voted for, but also like the sex worker support too, which is so big in Los Angeles, which let's call it 95% of these people live. So it's like the support for that and for indie is part of the reason I feel like it got the votes that it did for some of those categories. It's not to say that it wasn't like an unbelievably good film, but that specifically added to that touch, as I think almost every single time they went up, like either Sean Baker said it and Mikey Madison said it in her speech, as well as like kind of shouting them out in terms of being an advocate for those people. So it's interesting to kind of like hear that. You don't usually hear that. But absolutely, I'm not saying that like, I think that's part of the reason. But again, why the Brutalist also was winning some awards. It's just like the Brutalist is an indie film.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like we kind of had, I saw a lot of people saying that again, not winning, like not being a Emilia Pérez supporter, that Zoe Saldana was like,
Zoe Saldana won. Yeah.
Best supporting.
Which honestly I heard. I would say
like apparently her best performance ever.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
And everything else looked terrible. So it's like if hers was really good, then
hey, hats off to her.
At least she's getting, and she was very emotional in her speech. So like you can really tell that like she wanted that shit, and she was like, it seems like she really put a lot into it. She's also the first actress of Dominican descent to ever win an Oscar.
Wow.
Which is pretty incredible as well.
Great.
Yeah. We had a lot of like firsts in terms of like the first black man to win an Oscar for costume design. The first Dominican actor to win an Oscar. And then what else was the other one? It was the people who did Flow, wherever they're from, was that country's first Oscar as well. Like so I was like, that's really impressive too. And there's only like a couple countries that haven't won at some point for something.
Wow.
So it was very cool. Yeah, a lot of firsts for the evening, which is always fun to see as well. So
yeah, what a great Oscars then.
It was pretty good. I didn't love like all the stuff from Conan. I didn't think
the Adam Sandler thing was funny.
The Adam Sandler thing was funny. It was almost like I wanted to see Adam be a little bit, obviously it's like a setup, but I wanted to see Adam be a little bit more relaxed almost. His stuff felt too staged when he's just naturally funny. I was like, you had some like potential to make this even funnier, and it didn't flow the way I wanted it to. But I like the exit with like the Timothée
Chalamet, because that was a call out from
the Golden Globes.
From the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Chalamet,
when he was actually dressed properly, because he doesn't actually go to these shows like that. But he's like, I don't really give a shit to be here, but we're just gonna do this and then leave. And he probably did actually go play a pickup game.
Yeah,
like he absolutely could have done that. But yeah, that was a good start. I didn't mind that. I liked the Kendrick Lamar joke. That was funny.
Oh yeah.
Halfway through, he's like, "Oh, now we're halfway through the show, and this is where Kendrick Lamar comes out and calls Drake a pedophile."
Yeah,
I was like, I can appreciate it. I didn't even hear it when it happened. I was on my phone when he was saying it. Allie was like walking by. She's like, "Did you hear that?" I was like,
no.
"What? No, oh shit! I missed the joke. How did I miss that one?" I was like, "That's a crazy one to hear." Yeah, that was funny. But he did like a weird performance about the beginning performance is like about wasting time. I thought it was just bad.
I always find Conan is like sometimes he's really personable.
Yeah.
And then other times he's kind of just like annoying. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, hit or miss, touch and go, whatever the saying is.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of those hosts that are like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't love Jimmy Kimmel when he's hosting. I'm trying to think of who else has done it recently. Because I was going to say, because it's not the Golden Globes, because Ricky Gervais has done the Golden Globes a number of times, but I don't think he's done the Oscars. He's always funny because he just doesn't give a shit about Hollywood, and I love him just chirping the big Hollywood elites. Some of the I find the hosting is like very awkward. I mean, Chris Rock did a good job. That was the whole like the slap debacle, but yeah, I feel like I don't know. We'll see who they get to host next year.
They should get Trump to host.
That'll never fly. That would actually be like good stand up though. He'd be just ripping Hollywood. He'd be like, none of you like me. That would be an interesting one.
Yeah, Trump would be funny. The big man, the big orange man in a suit.
Well, he can't do it for the next 4 years probably, but he could do it afterwards, I bet. Yeah, what else? What else was like really impact? I felt like it was a very well-rounded Oscars.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no massive controversies.
I think all the selections were good. I think they were all pretty good.
Fit within the right film timeline.
Yep.
Again, and I can't stress this enough. I'm happy that the timeline of events, that the multiverse got corrected, and Emilia Pérez did not win much. Like they only won 2 awards. And they
Which
won
arguably maybe one award. Because
for Best Original Song
and Best Supporting.
Yeah,
actress.
Best Supporting, I can understand. That wasn't like a deep category. Could Felicity Jones won it? Maybe, but she was only in half of the film. So it's like, okay, what are we giving her? Whereas Zoe, you know what? At some point needs to get the credit for like actually delivering a beautiful performance in a terrible film. And you don't get a chance to say that very often, but it's like, it wasn't like a deep category. Like you could have given it to Ariana, but like, are you going to? Or are you just going to market her for the second film? So her and Cynthia, you're going to like push really hard. They didn't do a ton of that, as we talked about. And winning for Best Original Song, you had 2 of the 5 in the category. Like, come on. Dune should have been in there, even though it didn't qualify, but that's bullshit. I think that there could have been an option for, there was another Best Original Song that was in there that Diane Warren did. Trying to remember what movie it was in. But listening to it, I was like, this is clearly better than what I'm going to hear, like Al Mall winning. What was her... It's also... what was the nomination this year? Darn. The Fire Inside, I believe. That was what it was for this year. It was a little bit of a... That's so depressing. It's like, so she had a better chance to win in terms of like just the song being better. She has lost her 16th competitive Oscar nomination for original song. She has never won an Oscar. She received an honorary Oscar in 2022, but has not officially won an Oscar.
And she's been nominated 16
times. for probably 14 of 16 being like really good songs, and one or two of them being like, decent. And they lost the elbow. Like, that's bullshit. Like, that wasn't even a deep category. Like,
that's actually horrible.
I know, that's what I mean. Like, they're throwing Emilia Pérez a bone because, like, they probably felt like they had to give them one of them.
Something.
And they knew they weren't going to give them anything else. The people that voted were right. That's the only thing, is like, the other songs that it was up against was like an Elton John original song, and then her song, and then something else. It was like, that's so tough when 2 of the 5 are in the same movie and people were smart enough not to vote for them for anything else, basically. So, I don't know. That's maybe the only kind of really, really hard snub. Did you feel like Demi Moore could have won instead of Mikey Madison? Or do you feel like it was just...
Yes.
Was there like a better reasoning behind the pick? Like, I
think Demi Moore could have won, but I do think that yeah. Like, I feel like to not give it to Mikey is like, wouldn't make sense with the context of how, like, because she was the reason why Anora was so incredible, right? So to give Anora Best Picture, Best Original Screenplay, Best Editing, Best Director, and not give it to the lead performer that made it so enticing wouldn't have made sense. But Demi Moore was definitely a contender. Very good.
And the Substance, I don't think the Substance won anything.
Best makeup.
Did they win Best Makeup?
Best makeup and hair, yeah.
All right.
I believe so. Unless they like, hey, body whore.
At least they won something. That could have, and again, that could have gone to Another Man though too. Like, it was tough to watch Sebastian Stan also get snubbed. Like, again, another performance where I feel like he could have won in either of those roles for.
Who won for Best Supporting Man?
Kieran Culkin.
Okay.
Which, again, like, I feel like that's well deserved as well. I also forgot that was literally the first award of the night, which I always like. It's so random to start with that. And then, like, everything else is so deep. Like, all of the personal awards like that are also so deep into the night. And Kieran's sitting there for like 3 hours, just like chilling with his Oscar and his wife. He gave a very funny speech. He was like, "Oh yeah, when I talked to my wife about this, we were talking about like having another kid, and she said if you win an Oscar."
Yes.
Oh my god, it was a little cringy.
Like,
but
do you remember that, honey? Funny. He's like, "Do you remember that, honey?" And she's like,
he's looking at her. He's like, yeah. He's like, "So let's get on that." I was like, oh my god, that was nice to see.
I did see that.
That was great. Nice to see. I feel like that as again. The category was so deep, but like that would have been a fun one to see, like, win Best Original Screenplay as well. Yeah. Because that was a fun film, and they did a really good job. I mean, like, again, Kieran's getting all this praise when he almost like walked off and didn't do that movie. Just so crazy. Like 2 weeks before, was gonna bail. So it was meant to be. The stars aligned. It was meant to
be.
And that happens, right?
Everything happens exactly as intended.
Absolutely. Anything else that you feel like it kind of that happened during the Oscars you want to like touch on at all, or?
Oh, nothing that pops into my brain.
Yeah.
There was some drama with not drama. There was some, I don't even know what it was. I don't know. I was scrolling through the red carpet stuff, highlights. Yeah. And apparently there was some drama that didn't get captured between some celebs. But I didn't read into it.
Who it was? Or?
No idea.
Oh,
there's always drama somewhere.
Interesting. Well, we have kind of like we kind of went through biggest winners being kind of Sean Baker and Anora. Mikey Madison, obviously, for winning. Adrien Brody. Adrien Brody also makes history as the first person to win the award on their first 2 nominations. 2 nominations, 2 wins. So The Pianist and now The Brutalist. Names are similar too. Characters are similar.
What's next?
Should have given it to Timothée.
What's next? The Adjudicator.
See what next. I think there's a very good chance that we see him do another film with Brady Corbett after.
100%.
I think that they align very well in their creative vision, and I think that they both understand that category of like that epic, and I can see them getting like a nice big check from somebody to do.
Same with Sean Baker.
Yeah.
Same with Sean Baker.
Oh, Sean Baker, absolutely.
I'm excited to see what he comes with next.
It'll be interesting because like both of those guys have been so deeply rooted in the indie scene, and to see them kind of like now be mainstream, to like see if things change or if they still stay true to like the indie that they're trying to push in the way that they're making cinema. And I hope that does happen. I think that it will for those two. I don't think they'll get like too twisted with it. I hope that's it stays the way that they have been doing it. I think it's been very effective for them. Again, Zoe Saldana winning. Paul Tazwell for Wicked, who was the costume designer. And Walter Salles and I'm Still Here. So they won. Oh, that was the one I was so happy about. I almost jumped off the couch. I was so pumped that it beat Emilia Pérez. It won for Best International Film. Yes, they got it right. They got it right.
Of course. Yes. Well, you can't give it to Emilia Pérez. You can't give it to a Frenchman doing a Mexican thing. I know.
But I was so happy when I saw that it didn't win, because I was like, I even tweeted, I was like, I'm expecting Emilia Pérez to win. I don't want it to win, but I'm expecting it to win, and it didn't.
And you're like,
yes,
repost.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thank God this didn't come true.
Fuck that movie.
We realigned the timeline.
Exactly. The multiverse is everything is restored as it should be.
Best short film was I'm Not a Robot or something like that.
Yeah.
That was good.
I don't follow the shorts.
I just happened to to see it, and
the short and the documentary short as well.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good that those are still kind of like. It'd be interesting to see if those get faded out from the main night, because they've like chopped off so many awards and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see if that changes. But I don't know. We have memorable moments as well.
Oh, very nice.
We have Adrien Brody's 6-minute speech, which seemed to like kind of divide people in terms of like what they felt of how long it was, and him cutting off the end music, and kind of people felt like it dragged on a little bit too long, but
yeah,
so did the movie. So a lot of people agreed with our comment last time that it could have been a miniseries. When when Darcy was saying that, I think it's interesting because I think a lot of people. I saw multiple people comment on those clips and say that they would have watched it if it was a miniseries.
Yeah,
like I've never heard that take, and now that he said it, I totally see it. I see the possibility.
They packaged it.
I know. Yeah, somebody said that for The Irishman as well.
That's
I was like, that actually would have been a really good miniseries.
It would have been great for a miniseries.
Like
the way that it was. Oh yeah.
Like the De Niro one that's out right now. Same thing. Like that.
Yeah.
If that had been a movie, it would have been too long. But now that it's a miniseries, it's like it's more digestible.
Yeah, and you can make it. You can actually add more to it.
Absolutely.
Like Irishman would have been 4 episodes, but you could have made it 6. You could have made it 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Even Killers of the Flower Moon. Like if Scorsese made it, because Scorsese had a cut that was 6 hours or something like that.
Of
Make it a 6-part miniseries.
Yeah, like imagine. It'll be interesting to see happen like that. Would have been, shoot, I'm blanking on the director's name. Justice League. Oh, Snyder.
Zack Snyder, yeah.
A Snyder cut short series would have been incredible for that movie. Instead of like the Snyder cut, doing
a miniseries?
A miniseries.
Yeah.
Would have been so cool.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he would have had so much more creativity. They could have added so much more that he probably wanted to do. And probably that original cut was like 6 hours. I think the Snyder cut was 4 and a bit, if I'm not wrong. And I actually like the Snyder cut better than the original film.
Same.
Because it was more true because he had to leave anyway. So it was better that we actually got to see a Snyder cut at some point. Yeah, that was, again, like just kind of a different take on what cinema and television could be. But it's like, who's going to pick it up? Who's going to foot the bill for, I mean, for the Scorsese stuff, it's going to be Netflix, right? Like they've already done it with them. They know that they
or Apple. Apple did.
Yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon, right? Like
essentially anybody.
Yeah. So
any of the streamers. If Netflix doesn't want it and Apple doesn't want it, then maybe
Prime
Amazon wants it.
Yeah,
but if they don't want it, then whoever.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, maybe one of the 4 grabs it.
Yeah. I think some people kind of like the Conan O'Brien hosting in terms of the humor, charisma, the sandworm kind of bit was funny. I was like, I can appreciate like you doing that, and then it was like really depressing to watch Timothée just like sit there and sulk afterwards. Not a bad way, like not sulky in a bad way, just depressed after losing what he should have won. I'm gonna hold that. And I think the biggest win for the evening is just like indie films.
Indie films,
and like actual
what a win
independent
for
films taking off and doing extremely well. Like we had the two biggest winners of the night being The Brutalist overall and Anora overall, with the smallest budgets out of every single film that was there. Like Anora was tiny budget wise.
8 million?
The Brutalist was also like 8-9 million, which for those 2 films is insane. And you have some like notable people in either film. I love Sean Baker accepting Best Director, Quentin presenting it and saying like, the only reason that this film was made was because you cast her in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I was like, that's amazing. Like it's so cool when you just like see the shout out director to director, like the next big,
you inspired
the
me,
next big man. Especially when Quentin's like finishing up, like he's on his last film. So it's interesting to see. But yeah, I think indie. I think what this allows, because both of those films were at TIFF, which is also super cool. TIFF is going to be fucking massive this year. Like TIFF this year will be the biggest it's ever been, because both of those films were at TIFF this past year and did really well at TIFF, and now go on to win the most Oscars combined.
Toronto is just becoming
TIFF knows
bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Toronto, we have like 16 or 18 IATSE shows, union shows that are shooting in the city, and
there you go.
Toronto's just going to be bigger.
Yeah, and especially with the tariffs, it's going to be less expensive to shoot here.
So come on down to Toronto and switch your USD for the Canadian peso.
That's how the conversion rate feels right now. It feels like a peso almost. Yeah, but that's pretty good. I'm pumped. Like I might just like take one of my vacation weeks in September just so we can go watch.
Get that industry pass and go crazy? Absolutely.
I feel like we could try to get it. We could try to like push for it.
Go for the cool parties.
I think there's a chance, just because of like working with the Taro group, that we get an industry pass if we like continue on the track that we're on.
I'm sure we will.
I'm sure we'll sneak in somehow.
Sure. I get invited to all the fun events anyways. So.
You have all the fucking meetings during, so it's just going to be me perusing around.
Yeah.
Me vlogging the entire thing.
Oh, what's going on, guys? We're back.
Real talk.
Yeah. No, TIFF's going to be crazy this year.
I think it'll be the biggest year for TIFF that we've ever seen. And I think there'll even be some bigger films that maybe jump in because they know that like they always know and they understand the pedigree that TIFF is at. But I think especially because of those two films doing so well at the Academy this year, that I know, yeah, it's
mucho dinero.
Yeah,
yeah. No, I think yeah. And if TIFF gets all their ducks in a line, then yeah,
I think they will.
Well,
feel good about. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, get us that media pass, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, we can help you out. No problem.
We'll help with the marketing.
We started with Double Dune Day. Now we're gonna help TIFF.
Help TIFF marketing. It was actually an open position for that, but it just
I saw it.
Wasn't good. Wasn't good money. I
wouldn't. No,
that would be a fucking grind for like 3 months. Would be horrible. Like absolutely brutal.
Bone crunching
for so little money. Like for so little money. It was bad.
They do it just so that it's just like you would do it for just like the resume piece, just to be like, I did it.
It's not worth it. It wasn't worth the $60K they were offering.
Oh, I bet.
No way. That's not enough money.
Come here, kill yourself for 3 months.
Yeah,
and we'll pay you $60K.
That's insane. It was insane. I saw it. I was like, that's how much you're offering? Really? I thought your pockets were deep.
They don't got no. They don't got nothing.
No. They have nothing.
Not after they lost a bunch of sponsors and everything.
Oh, Bell, yeah.
Not much.
Okay, and on that note, we're not getting invited to TIFF this year.
No, we will. I love you, TIFF.
Gonna cut that part. Yeah. No, we love you. Yep.
All the team. I met a few of you guys.
We love you.
We hang out.
We'll have drinks together sometime.
Yeah, come get drinks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like that kind of wraps up our Oscars episode.
Yeah.
Hey. We're putting this out there. We're gonna be at the 100th Oscars.
I think so.
I think that's possible. I think we can do that.
I think that, or
I think the 100th
will be at the 99th Oscars.
Yeah,
because the 99th Oscars are arguably better than the 100th Oscars.
Yeah, like UFC 299 versus 300. I'm just saying the card was better. 299 was better. I don't know. That's. Just saying.
Yeah. No, we'll be there for sure. 100%. We'll be hosting. No.
We're not going to have that pedigree. No.
Not yet. Maybe 105.
Maybe 200.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Maybe like 160.
Yeah.
Yeah, or 85.
Yeah.
We're 88.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe
we'll see. It might be dead.
Maybe.
Too much cocaine.
And the Oscar goes to Sander.
Okay, well that beautifully sums up.
Doesn't it? Beautifully sums up the episode.
Sums up our Oscars episode. And
if you guys haven't seen the Oscar films, go watch the Oscar films. Go see why they won.
Yep.
Definitely watch Anora if you haven't.
Definitely don't watch Emilia Pérez. Don't give it any more press than it deserves right now.
Yep. Or maybe rip on it on social media. So they'll do like another release of it.
Yep. They're going to re-release it on Netflix?
No, maybe they'll do a theatrical.
That would
section operation.
That would be horrible.
Yep.
I would anticipate a $300,000 box office if it went to theaters.
That would be bad.
If it went to theaters, I would honestly anticipate a $300,000 box office.
But the fact that people are going to see it, that's wild.
People go to see it just to laugh at. Like $300,000 is like you spent $1 million just for it to be there. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Right. Netflix just simply doesn't care anymore, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but watch all the good ones. Watch all the ones that won, like
watch the
Brutalist, the Wicked for costumes.
Yep.
Watch The Substance for body horror, that makeup.
Watch A Better Man.
Better Man.
The Apprentice.
Yep. Go watch The Apprentice, shot in Toronto. Go watch. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh okay.
It's part of it. And go watch. Go
watch Sing Sing. Go watch A Complete Unknown.
Complete Unknown. That's the one I was thinking.
Go watch
of.
I'm Still Here.
Go watch Dune 2.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
1.
Yeah, and then just let us know.
Watch movies.
Yeah,
check out some new stuff. I watched a horrible movie on the weekend, but I can't get into that because of NDAs.
Oh really?
And on that note, go watch films.
Well, we are signing off here. My name's Sander.
And I'm Nason.
And this has been episode 14 of the Real Talk Podcast.
See you guys.
See ya.